大家好，欢迎来到悦时工作室，我是 Jerry。今天要带大家来看一个比较不一样的品牌，是独立制表品牌 Romain Gauthier。作为同名品牌创办人，在成为独立制表师之前，为机械工程的专案经理，负责精密机芯零件。正因为这样的专业背景，让 Romain Gauthier 所设计与制作的机芯，在结构上与传统布局有所不同。从零件到结构，皆由 Romain Gauthier一一构思自行生产打造而成。同时结合手工打磨的倒角光泽细节，创作出一款又一款的高水准作品。第一款要带大家来看的是 C 系列的链带版腕表，它的表壳是由钛金属制成，表圈有着特殊的弧形斜角几何轮廓，均匀的在弧面上切割6个切面，每个切面经过抛光打磨，而表圈其余部分则使用雾面处理，并一路延伸至一体式的链带，透过光线的交互作用，勾勒出腕表整体的精致线条。加上同样采用5级钛金属的链带，让整只腕表重量仅85克，佩戴上手的感觉十分轻盈舒适。另一款则是特殊定制款 CARPE-DIEM 锻造碳版本的 Insight Micro-Rotor 镂空腕表，表壳、表冠、面盘、带扣全以锻造碳制造，相较于钛金属，它具备3倍以上的结构强度，重量却只有一半。整只腕表重量仅31.31克。透过镂空表盘，可以欣赏腕表不少客制化的元素，像是主板与表桥，能够选择手工抛光或者雾面处理倒角，以及钢质指针颜色、面盘时标与装饰性雕刻、天然橡胶表带的颜色都能量身打造。像我手上这只，就是以蓝色来做呈现。最后一款则是在 Romain 手上的 C by Romain Gauthier Titanium Edition 5。接下来就让我们请 Romain 为大家介绍这款全新的 C5 作品吧。
Absolutely, with pleasure. The last edition, I will say that we have launched this year, is the C5. So the C5 is a work on the natural titanium case and a different type of dial, but it's related to the movement. So the engraving that we have since the first C, so the C1, the C2, T3, T4, they already, have this hand engraving. Could be beautiful to have on a dial with more exposure. And what we have created is a kind of, with this technique, a kind of marble. So very, a dial alive, playing with lights, combining, I will say, the champagne color and the burgundy. And this was, for me, I will say, a work on the C. It's the most elegant, not really common to see the burgundy, and it fit wonderfully for my taste in terms of luxury, sport, modern, but with elegance. Born to the Vallée de Joux, for me, I will say the classical watchmaking was important. So for me, personally, I was waiting the right time, to do a sport watch. I was really waiting the right time to have a watch with a clear DNA of sport and modern, And this is why we have introduced, I will say, this collection. So for many brands, is a kind of complementary segment. And it's not fitting every brand, but me, I like the sports things, I like art, I like the modern and contemporary art, pop, street. So it was quite natural to have one day something a bit more sporty. So the Vallée de Joux is really one of the heart in Switzerland for the fine watchmaking. This valley was, I will say, well known also in the past regarding the complication, like the minute repeater, like the chronograph, the finger bridge, if we come back to more time ago. And for me, really is to keep this heritage, this knowledge, but I have, a different vision, which is the evolution of tradition. So evolution of tradition is really how I see, we have to respect and to be humble from the past, But we live in the 21st century and we have to move on. So this is why, you know, a part of me is to be classical, to the same DNA, to keep that values, you know, in terms of craftsmanship, the level of finishing, the fine watchmaking, but also to be able, you know, to bring something a bit more modern, something a bit more with my vision about the 21st century in watchmaking. And this is how I will say I try to keep, you know, the heritage, and I also try to move on. And this is why for me the evolution of tradition, I feel very well with what I like in life. I try to do, you know, all of my work to keep the fine watchmaking in the Vallée de Joux and for the future. We every year establish, I will say, more, you know, like the red line that the collector understand about us. I will say after 18 years, we already have, you know, a good direction. We have already give to the collectors a good direction about what we do. So the haute couture in watchmaking, I will say we will always continue to do that. This is really the essence and the DNA of what I like. And you will see more complicated watches. For sure, a lot of collectors are waiting about the Logical 2. The Logical 2 will come in. Yes, takes time, you know, but we also, you know, work on the expansion of the facility. Yes, so the side of the haute couture will be full of very interesting things in the next 3 years. And I will say the C collection is also going, you know, to bring a bit more faster, you know, some edition. There is a new caliber cooking for 2025. So yes, a lot of things you will see from 25, 26, 27. Yes, great things will arrive.
这支影片也很高兴能够和瑞博品总经理 Kelly 聊聊。瑞博品深耕台湾、日本、香港独立制表市场近10年，在台湾以机芯工艺为优势特色的品牌受到许多关注，其中就包含了 Romain Gauthier。想请 Kelly 与我们分享一下和 Romain 合作的心路历程。
We know each other basically around 10 years ago. It's my first time coming back to the watch industry. Actually, I lived the industry like around 5 years to pursue my master degree in Europe. And afterwards, it's my first year back to the Basel Fair. So that moment, I was wondering like, what kind of brands or what kind of things that I can do when I start up a company to carrying some brands to the Taiwan market. At that moment, I was with my partner, and we are working with Japan market. So we're also thinking what kind of positioning of the brand that we could considering, you know, to introduce to these two markets. Quite interesting. I have an old friend working in the watch industry. He's a very senior editor, and he introduced me. There is a brand you must visit, which is Romain Gauthier. And it's my first time, you know, like open my eyes, like how can a watch be beautiful? In first eye, you can see the design, and you see the different construction, and in the end, you can see much more depth, you know, and in the enlarge and also the decoration on the movement. So I think it's several wow effect to me when I first see Romain and also see his product.
I think, you know, it's important to explain that the watchmaking is not just related to watchmakers.
Yes.
As the cliche of and before to see the watchmaker will do his own work, you know, to place in life all of those elements and set up all of the parts and the regulation. There is, you know, an enormous quantities of work and people that most of the time, you know, we don't see that much. And this is where, you know, I can see what the collector experience. It's exactly that. They started, you know, with the fun. They started with, and I think they got excitement, a kind of thing that, okay, I touched the metal, I did the polishing, and wow, and on a very simple shape, you know. And I will say those excitement to prove to themselves that, I did it. You see what I mean? It's on every level. When you start to do something for the first time, it's like very exciting. They experience something new. I asked the question, you know, that how many of you did already practice that kind of things?
Yes.
And the answer was Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah,
Nobody.
True.
So this is why I will say that we have done that this time, and we will continue, because it's those experience where when after that collectors can place an understanding about the craftsmanship, about the value behind, and to really understand about that.
也希望透过这一次让大家手工打磨体验的课程，了解手工的价值，提升一个钟表背后的内涵是有多么的重要。就算是简单的东西，它背后也有很深厚的基础，作为一个很强大的后盾。
很高兴这次可以访问到 Romain Gauthier 本人，也介绍了 Romain Gauthier 今年的新品。这次 Romain Gauthier 除了带来新的作品，也跟许多表迷以及藏家有许多体验互动，这样也加深了品牌与表友的连结。好，那这次的影片就到这。想知道更多表坛资讯，欢迎订阅悦时工作室。